All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Allie. I'm an educator here at the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California. Good morning. Happy Monday here at 10 a.m. It is the 1st of February. So welcome. We're going to be exploring a lot today with my friend Captain Joe, who you just saw a moment ago in that video. He is all about exploring the Aquarium of the Pacific. So we're going to be focusing today on camouflage. But with that being said, we would love your participation. So if you would like to, you can text in this number right below here. That's 562-286-1838. My friend Talia is over at the computer there, ready to take all your observations or your questions. And then if you're watching when we're not live, so again, not Monday, February 1st at 10 a.m. Well, and you still have questions, that's okay, but we're going to have you email us instead. And that's this email right below here. That's live@lbaop.org. Now, if we do have any classes today, teachers, we'd love if you texted in just how many kids you have in your classes. That way we can better serve our audience and our community with a little bit of more data there. But we are going to be exploring camouflage today. Now, let's go ahead and think for a moment. What is camouflage? Have you heard that word before? Camouflage. If you have any idea, go ahead and let us know. What in the world is camouflage? Why would an animal want to use it? Well, one way that an animal can camouflage is, well, by blending in with their environment. And why would they want to do that? Well, you might be thinking, well, probably to avoid being seen, avoid being eaten. Yeah, exactly. You want to hide from your what might want to eat you, so you can kind of hide out maybe in the rocks, or some animals that we'll see today hide in plain sight. But why else would you want to blend in? Well, maybe to sneak up on your own food. If what you're about to eat can't see you and you sneak up on them, oh, well, then they are not going to swim away, all right, because they don't know you're even coming. So there's quite a few different ways that animals can camouflage. It could be color. It could be shapes. It could be patterns. And we're going to explore that a little bit today. Now, we are going to go ahead and check in with Captain Joe. I don't know what he's up to. Let's see if I think he knows that we're filming this. So let's see. Let's check in. Captain Joe! Hi! Joe? What are you doing? Are you swimming? Hello? Joe, can you hear me? Are you swimming?
Well, hello there, boys and
okay.
girls. It's Captain Joe here, and yes, as a matter of fact, I am swimming underneath water right now inside the tropical galley. I've finally mastered my technique of underwater breathing, just like my idol, the harbor seal.
Oh, really? Well, then how are you talking underwater?
It doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, just go ahead and observe some fish.
All right, that sounds good. Let's go ahead and observe some fish that Captain Joe is swimming with. Ooh, make some observations. What colors do you see? Ooh, that's a cool body, that eel. Oh!
Ring must be able to hold her breath underneath water as well. What that is.
Captain Joe, I don't think you're actually swimming.
All right, you caught me. But someday I will be able to hold my breath underwater. I don't. Anyways, we are here in the tropical gallery, and I do have to tell you, boys and girls, we have a lot of very colorful fish here today.
That's awesome. What do they use those colors for?
Well, that is a very good question. Again, we might as well do what we always do. Let's investigate.
All right, everyone. Looks like we're going to dive on in and investigate. Thank you so much, Captain Joe. Now, when we saw those fish swimming around in the tunnel there, well, they were different shapes. They were different colors. They had all those different patterns, and some of them looked like they were blending in pretty well with their environment. Now, that exhibit that we were just in is in the tropical gallery. So lots of animals in that habitat might have, bright colors, but there's different habitats around the aquarium. So let's go ahead and start off in a habitat that's actually right near us here in Southern California. It's not so colorful. It's a little tropical. And that is the Kelp Forest that's right off of our coast. We're going to start off with an animal that we saw the cousin to swimming around in that tropical gallery, but this one looks a little bit different. So we are going to look at this animal right here. Does anyone know what this animal is? Does this look familiar to anyone? This is here off of our coast. This is a Moray Eel. If you would like to share any comments that you have, definitely text us right here down below. Now, this Moray Eel, does it have camouflage? Well, let's go ahead and think about its habitat, right? So the kelp forest, there's lots of kelp. Kind of a greenish color. Ooh, this is great. Miss Kaya put up our blue cavern exhibit right behind me here. Now, what do you notice about this habitat? I see some rocks. I see some kelp. How might this help our eel right here blend in? Well, with that shape, that body shape, it can kind of wiggle itself in between the rocks to hide while it's poking its face out to kind of look around. It might also just kind of look like kelp. Or maybe it blends in pretty well with different kinds of rocks or sand. So that's just one way that these animals can blend in. But you are doing such a good job making observations that we are going to play a game. All right, now this game, I'm going to tell you the rules real quick here. Now we have hidden an animal. It's an animal with some great camouflage, and we have hidden this animal in a picture. Now your challenge is to see if you can find and identify this animal. All right, now to make it a little bit harder, because you are so great at making observations, we have added bubbles. So these bubbles will be a little challenging to see past, but let's go ahead and see if we can figure this out. All right, so we're going to put up a picture. It's going to have bubbles, and go ahead and see if you can see if anything's hiding in here. What do you see hiding in here? There's a lot of bubbles, that's for sure. Anything behind the bubbles? If you think you know what is behind here, definitely text us on in. I see a couple of questions about to come on in. Does anyone think they know what's behind here? It's one of my favorite animals. I'll give you a hint. It has 8 arms. Did you say octopus? Yes, an octopus! Do you see this octopus hiding right? Oh, thank you. Perfect. Hiding right behind here. So it really is good at camouflaging, isn't it? You can see its eyes up here. This part right here is that has all the organs. It kind of looks like a lumpy head, doesn't it? But it's actually where basically it keeps everything. Oh, what was that, Miss Talia? Oh, you had octopus guesses. People were guessing octopus. Awesome. We had lots of classes guess octopus. Wonderful job. Give yourselves a round of applause. This body part here, that's actually where its brain is, where its stomachs are, where pretty much everything an octopus has is right in this squishy area here. And then it has all of its arms. It has suction cups all over it. Now, octopuses can not only change color, but they can change texture as well. which means that they can change color to blend in just like this octopus. It's kind of orange, kind of yellow. But if they're on something really bumpy, they can change their skin to be bumpy. Whereas if they're on something really smooth, they can change their skin to be smooth. Now, Mrs. Romero's and Mrs. Franco's class are asking, well, how do animals camouflage? Well, we're going to explore that today. It can be from texture or color like an octopus, but we're going to see a couple other ways that animals can camouflage as well. Now, Miss Kaya brought up a really cool video. I'm going to step out of the way and go ahead and make some observations. We'll watch this more than once. Whoa! Did you see that? That octopus came out of nowhere. Let's watch that one more time, Miss Kaya, because that was so cool. All right. Did you see that octopus just come right on out of the rocks? I didn't even see that octopus at first. Did you? I sure didn't. Well, they can definitely change color, change texture, but we're going to look at a few more ways that animals can camouflage. Now, another question for Miss Romero and Miss Franco's classes are, can a sea star blend in? That's a really great question. They sure can. So it depends on the sea star, of course, right? So sea stars can come in lots and lots of different colors. Some can be pink, some can be orange, some can be brown. So it really does depend what their habitat is, that they can kind of blend in with other things. So this is a sea star that you can kind of see its 2 feet walking along the rocks. Now this is kind of an orangey color, so it might stand out in this habitat. But let's think about it in maybe a different habitat. Could it blend in with maybe a coral reef being this color? Exactly, it sure can. So thank you for those questions again. If anyone else has any questions, definitely feel free to ask. But all right, we did a great job finding that octopus. Joe has had a little bit of time to kind of go around and see what's going on. So let's see and check in with him. All right, let's see what Joe's up to. Joe, are you there? Joe? Joe?
Hey boys and girls, I'm here in the tropical gallery, observing, hiding out using camouflage. What I found out is that these animals have many different colors. They use them for many different reasons. So let's go observe and find out more.
All right, sounds good, Captain Joe. Looks like was he trying to blend in? Did he do a very good job? I think he was a little bit big. That fish was a little too big, but that's okay. That was a butterfly fish. Now let's take a closer look at this fish right here. Now this is called a butterfly fish. This is what Joe was pretending to be. Now, do you see any camouflage on this? What do you notice? What stands out to you? Well, I noticed that it's actually pretty bright, isn't it? Yeah, it's not really just like a dull color trying to fade into the background. It's pretty bright. And that's because, again, this lives in the tropical gallery, tropical waters where things are a little bit brighter sometimes, like coral reefs. So it has that nice coloration, but it has a couple other things as well that we might not normally think of when we think of camouflage. Does anyone think they know what it is? All right, well, it is something at kind of the back of the fish. Any guesses? Yes, it's this right here, this dot. Have you seen other animals with maybe like a dot on them? Yes, this is called a false eye. False eye is really just, basically, you want other animals to think you have an eye on the back here. So it's a fake eye. It doesn't work. Nope, it's just a dot. Now, why would an animal want to have a fake eye on its tail? Well, if you're a predator and you're kind of going after an animal and you want to eat it, well, you're probably going to want to get it on its face, right? Because then they can't really swim away as much. So if you're swimming and you think the eye is back here, well, if you try to snatch at the back of it, well, the fish can get away. So it's actually a really cool form of camouflage, is camouflaging where its eye is. So maybe it's not camouflaging into its environment, but it's actually camouflaging things on its body. And with that being said, did you notice its actual eye? This actual eye right here is covered with a stripe. So it's kind of confusing to a predator, and that gives this animal a better chance of getting away. Perfect. And these stripes, actually, while we're at it, this stripe actually helps break up the body a little bit more too. So if I was a predator, I wouldn't really know, hey, where does that body start? Where does it end? And again, gives this fish a much better chance of avoiding that predator. All right, well, let's go ahead and check in with Joe. I think he found someone that knows a little bit more about animals that use camouflage to hide and even sneak up on their food. I wonder who he found. Let's go ahead and check in with him.
Boys and girls, I'm here with our seahorses, and I found my friend Jen. She's an Aquarius here at the aquarium. Jen, what are some of the things you do here at the aquarium?
I do a lot of things to take care of the animals here, including feeding and a lot of cleaning.
Very nice. Now, we're here with the seahorses, and we do know that they have very long faces and very curly tails, but we're learning about colors today. Can you tell us a little bit how they use color in their environment?
Absolutely. Seahorses use color to camouflage or hide in their environment, and because they're so well hidden, they can sneak up on the prey.
Ooh, I like that. Now, our sneaking sounds very cool. Are there any other animals in the aquarium that sneak up on their prey?
Absolutely. We have a lot. They are very hard to find, so you really need to use your eyes. I suggest you go ahead and head down to Do Cavern and look at our giant sea bass.
Giant sea bass. I think that's something we definitely need to investigate.
I agree. Giant sea bass are so cool, but hold on. Seahorses are really cool too. Let's take a closer look at those. Now, Jen was talking about how the seahorses, they can blend into their environment to kind of sneak up on their food. Now, seahorses in general are pretty tiny, right? So do you think that they're going to have really big food that they're eating or littler food? Probably littler food, exactly. They have tiny little mouths. This is a sea dragon. It's the cousin of a seahorse. You can see their little mouths. Oop, and it's feeding time right here for this seahorse. All of those little pieces of shrimp, it almost looks like little white pieces of snow. That's their food. And they can wrap their tail around and kind of hang into with each other or in the seaweed and the seagrass, and they can sneak up on that food and pluck it out of the water. Now, seahorses have that really cool capability of moving their tails around and kind of being able to wrap it. I kind of think of it like a monkey tail, how they can use it for other things besides just being right behind them. That is called a prehensile tail. That might be a new word for you, but it really just means that they are able to move it around. All right, so we're going to take a break. All right, and we're going to take a break with a game. Now, this is another game. It's not the same game as we played before. You were way too good at that. You got it so quickly that we're going to try another game. All right, so in just a moment here, we're going to put up some clues. There's going to be a color. It's going to be a name of a color, and that's one clue. But then there's going to be some puzzle pieces that flip over, little squares that reveal parts of a picture. Now we'll start and kind of stop partway through to make sure that we're all on the same page. But I want you to make observations. Okay, with what clues? Can you figure out what animal is hiding there? All right, let's go ahead and start. Let's see if you can figure it out. All right, here we go. Oh, we can ignore that picture on the bottom. Or this thing right here. That's our old number. So if you do want to text us in, that's our new number that we're going to put right below here to kind of cover that up in a second. 562-286-1838. All right, but we'll remove that band really quick so we can try to see, well, what is hiding in this picture? Well, I see kind of dark on the outside. And almost looks like little spaghetti noodles kind of all over. And then I see something orange and white hiding in this picture? I also see some stripes. Does anyone think they know what this might be? Oh, Mrs. Nicolosi's class thinks it's a clownfish. That's a really good guess. I think that could be right. All right, let's go ahead and keep watching. Wow, Mrs. Nicolosi's class! It is a clownfish! Oh, another friend guessed clownfish too. Oh, you are fabulous. Great job. This is in fact a clownfish. They're also called anemone fish. And that's because they have a very special home and they live in another animal called a sea anemone. And that's all of these spaghetti noodles right behind here. So they live in a sea anemone that kind of looks like an upside down jellyfish. And they're able to live inside of there perfectly nice and safe because other fish or predators can't come in here. So they're unable to come in here because all of these little tentacles here, they sting. But hold on, why is this fish able to go in there if the tentacles sting? Well, they have a really cool adaptation, something that they have on their bodies to help them survive. And guess what that is? Mucus. Oh, I know, kind of gross, but they have mucus all over their bodies, and that they have an extra thick layer. So they have kind of a protection, a slime that helps them to be able to not feel the sting. So they can go in and out of the sea anemone while other animals, I can't go in there. So it's a nice home for these clownfish. Oh, Mrs. Romero and Franco's class guessed clownfish too. Wonderful. Before we check in with Mr. Joe here in a second, we have one more question. How do animals know when to camouflage? It's a great question. Some of them, they might not know. That's a really good question. Some of them, they don't change colors or they don't change shapes or anything like that. Like this animal right here, perfect, this butterfly fish, they always look like this. So they're not thinking, oh, I got to blend in right now, or, oh, I got to put my false eye up, I see a predator. They're not really thinking like that. But the octopus, on the other hand, is maybe what you're thinking about a little bit. And that is definitely very, very cool that they are able to kind of change automatically into what they see and what they're around. Now, octopuses, they have a very well developed eyes, so they can see really well, better than probably we can, and they are very smart. So they kind of, you can think of it as them being a little more advanced than some other animals that are out in the ocean. So they are able to see what is around them and mimic that. Or mimic is another word for pretend. Pretend to be that. Great question. Alrighty, everyone. Let's go ahead and check in with Captain Joe. I think he was going to find a giant sea bass. I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's see. Where is he? All right. Hi, Captain Joe. Oh, he found the Blue Cavern exhibit. Wonderful. All righty. Hold on a second. Captain Joe, where'd you go? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm hiding in this pretend seaweed or kelp to blend in with our kelp habitat.
Okay. Well, cool. Did you find a giant sea bass?
Take a closer look.
All right, we're going to take a closer look at these sea bass. Oh, I wonder what we'll see.
Now, boys and girls, here is one of our giant sea bass. Sometimes in the ocean, instead of blending into a rock, an animal will try to blend into the shadows or into the water itself. Now, the dark mottled color of the giant sea bass allows it to lurk in the dark parts of the kelp forest, only to lunge forward when a small prey fish comes near and sucks it right into its mouth. The camouflage, paired with its careful, slow swimming, make the giant sea bass almost ninja-like in its stealth, even though it can eventually grow to weigh over 600 pounds. Now, boys and girls, these are just some examples of how these animals use color in their environment. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio, and you're going to learn a little bit more about animals and how they use their color in the wild.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Captain Joe. Now, I wonder, they had spots. Are there any animals that have stripes?
Pretty sure I saw a striped animal in the tropical Pacific Gallery.
All right.
Meet me there.
All right, sounds good. So we're going to go ahead, and Joe is going to meet us at a striped animal in a little bit. But let's go ahead and talk about those giant sea bass. Wow, Joe said they can get to around 600 pounds. It must be kind of hard to blend in when you are 600 pounds. That's a big fish. But I noticed it had spots on them, and those spots kind of help them blend in. Ooh, do you see down here with the rocks? Ah, they're so cool. They have the spots, that kind of mottled coloration. They can blend in with the rocks, or they kind of hang out mainly at the lower portion of this habitat here. So you won't often see them all the way up here because they don't blend in as well. So this is really cool that even though these animals are so large, they can actually still blend in. Now, here at the Aquarium of the Pacific, we have so many really cool animals. We have about 12,000 animals that call the Aquarium of the Pacific home. We have, like this eel right here, this giant sea bass. There's also some sharks in here, but we also have other animals like penguins and sea lions. So I want to take a moment and think, well, how do we take care of them? Well, we actually have a hospital here at the Aquarium of the Pacific called the Molina Animal Care Center. And we have a whole team that works in here every single day. We have doctors for animals. Those are called veterinarians. We have nurses for animals. Those are called veterinary technicians. And we have a whole team making sure they are happy and healthy. So, my friend Cheryl wanted to share with us a little bit about what goes on in this animal hospital. So looks like Cher's gonna take a little break and tell us what's going on here.
Welcome, Ocean Rangers. I'm Sheriff Seals, and I'm here at the Molina Animal Care Center. This is our veterinary hospital for all of our animals here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. I work with Dr. Lance Adams, our veterinarian, and we take care of all of these animals. Our animals can't exactly tell us what's wrong with them. So we use special tools to help us figure out what's going on the inside. Here's our ultrasound. This allows us to view the internal organs of an animal, like the kidneys or the liver or even the stomach. We use this probe here with a little bit of this gel, and we run it over the body part that we want to look at. This screen right here will show us a picture of what we're looking at. It'll show us the inside. We use this ultrasound on one of our harbor seals, Shelby. Shelby is a mom. She's had two pups here at the aquarium in the past few years, Bixby and Toby. We knew she was pregnant because we used this on her. We placed this probe with a little bit of the gel on her big belly, and we could see a seal pup inside of her. This is just one of the tools that we use to see inside the animals. Let's take a look at some others. This is our X-ray. Unlike the ultrasound that takes pictures of soft tissues and organs, we use this to take pictures of bones. We place the animal on the plate here, and we snap the X-ray. We can take pictures of certain body parts or the entire body. After we take the X-ray, it displays on this screen. Dr. Adams uses this and many other tools to help figure out what's wrong with our animals here at the aquarium. This way, we can keep all of our animals healthy. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Wow, thanks, Shara. That was so cool to learn a little bit about how we take care of our animals. It's so cool to be able to see a baby pup, that's another name for a baby seal, inside of their belly. Did you know that was possible? Wow, okay, let's go ahead and check in with Captain Joe because I think he wanted to show us one last thing before we start wrapping up. I think it was a striped animal. Let's see.
So these are the animals, black and white stripes I was talking about. These are our banded sea crates. We have one right there, and they are very venomous animals, and they use their coloration to give a warning to other animals. They basically say, look out, I'm quite dangerous. Very, very cool.
Wow, how cool is that? So they're saying, oh, I'm really dangerous. Don't come near me. That's so cool. We have other animals kind of around the aquarium that do that as well. Sometimes animals might not camouflage. They might stand out and say, I'm dangerous, so don't mess with me. It's pretty interesting. So next time you come to the aquarium or look at our webcams, I'm going to challenge you. See if you can find an animal that might not be camouflaging, that's kind of doing the opposite. And see if they're trying to tell you something just with their color and their pattern. Now we do have a couple questions before we wrap up. Mrs. Nicolosi's class says, how do octopuses sleep? That's a really great question. I'm not sure if we know 100% how they sleep. They do spend a lot of the daytime resting and they are active most of the night. But I bet they just kind of go to sleep similar to how we do. Yeah, exactly. So Miss Tolly was saying they just kind of snooze and they hide in a rock in a den. So yeah, they just protect themselves, make sure they're in a safe area, and take a little nap. Great question. Do other animals have mucus? From Miss Romero's and Franco's class, yes, they do. A lot of animals do have kind of a mucusy feeling on the outside of them. If you've ever held a fish, do you feel kind of slippery and mucusy? Yes, lots of animals do have mucus on them, but the clownfish, like we were talking about, just has a nice extra thick layer, so they can't feel that sting. And our final question was from Damien. Hi, Damien. How do we help sharks when they get hurt? Do we take them out of the water? Wow, Damien, I love that question. That's a really great question. How do we take care of our sharks? Well, if a shark does get hurt, or any animal for that matter, if we can attend to them right where they are, that is what we will do. But if we need to bring them to the Molina Animal Care Center, it does take a little more work. So in a case of our sharks, did you know you could train a shark? We train our sharks to come into, it almost looks like a big sling. And they come in to that area there, and we're able to lift them out of the water. Now, when we lift them out of the water, we put them in a really big bucket of water. So it's like a really big bucket that can fit the whole shark. And then we can wheel them over to the Molina Animal Care Center. Whereas some animals that don't need to be in water, well, we can put them in things like a crate, like a dog crate, for, say, our otters. And they can then be taken to the Molina Animal Care Center. So we try to take our sharks or animals that need to be in water a lot like sharks. We try to take them out of the water as little as possible, but yes, we are able to take them out for short amounts of time, and it's not going to hurt them. Alrighty, everyone. Well, thank you so much for your questions. If you do have any more questions, let us know. We have an email. It's right below here. In a second, it will be. And it's going to be live at LBAOP. There we go. Perfect. Live at lbaop.org. Thank you so much for joining us here and adventuring out into the aquarium with me and Captain Joe. Hopefully, we'll see you for another one of our online academy sessions here. But other than that, have a great week, everyone. Bye.